This morning, as the first light touched my eyes, I woke up with an insight that hit me so strongly, it felt as if reality itself whispered it into my ear. What if the quantum field is not actually reacting to the words you speak, but to the state of being you embody at the exact moment you speak them? Imagine how much this changes everything you thought you knew about manifestation. For years, I've watched people pour themselves into endless affirmations, repeating the same sentences thousands of times, building vision boards, again, visualizing riches and love with discipline every single day, following flawless rituals. Yet, they remain stuck in the exact same life, as if all their effort were echoing into silence. It is not because they lack willpower. It is not because they don't know the techniques. The truth is harsher and far more subtle. They are making a hidden mistake, one so invisible that almost no one has been taught to notice it. The most expensive error in the process of manifestation is not doing too little, it is doing too much from the wrong frequency. Think about it. Each morning when you rise and repeat your affirmation with urgency burning in your chest each time, you visualize from the hunger of not yet having each time. You dive into your practice with the desperation of someone who feels broken and is trying to repair themselves. You are actually transmitting the opposite signal to the universe. Here lies the brutal paradox. The more you chase something with anxious desire, the further you push it away, because desire itself vibrates in lack urgency, vibrates in need, and the quantum field, which is like a flawless mathematical mirror, cannot reflect abundance when your energy is screaming poverty. And if this message resonates with you, it's because deep down you already suspect that manifestation is not about the surface level techniques. It's about something deeper, something the mainstream explanations almost never touch. That's why this channel exists, not to give you more tricks or mechanical methods, but to help you create a transformation from the inside out. Because here is the piece of knowledge nobody is telling you. There is one language the quantum field always understands. And once you master it, everything shifts without resistance. The real question is, are you ready to discover the language you have been unconsciously speaking your whole life without even knowing it? The truth is not about stacking more practices or adding more steps. The breakthrough comes when you begin to emit a different frequency altogether. The field doesn't care about your words. It doesn't need convincing, and it doesn't wait for you to explain in detail what you want. It simply echoes back the vibration you radiate when no one is watching. You're not performing any practice, when you're just existing in your most honest state. That is the unfiltered frequency that sets everything in motion. Manifestation, then, is not about persuading the universe to hand you something. It is about tuning yourself into the frequency of someone who already lives inside that reality. Think of it as a cosmic radio dial that cannot be tricked. If your inner station is broadcasting on 98.5 Scarcity FM, you can scream into the microphone all day, but all you will ever receive back is the transmission of 98.5 Scarcity. To truly receive abundance, you must align your inner dial to the frequency of abundance itself. Here lies the secret most people miss. Embodying your future self now is the only path without resistance. Ask yourself, how does the version of me who already has what I want breathe? How do they move through the world? From what emotional state do they make their decisions? That future version is not begging, not stressing, not rushing. Tia, they are simply being, okay? And the moment you begin to live as that person now, the quantum field has no choice but to reflect it back to you. Frequency is the vibrational password that unlocks results. It is never about the sheer quantity of what you do, but about the quality of who you are as you do it. And here is where the revolution begins. When you change your frequency, you don't need to fight your reality anymore. Your reality changes itself to synchronize with you. But this raises a fascinating question. If it's so simple, why do so many people struggle endlessly? The answer may surprise you. Picture the quantum field as a perfect cosmic mirror. But this mirror docility reflects your face, or your body reflects the deepest layer of your vibration. It doesn't reveal the words you say, but the energy pulsing inside you as you say them. This mirror never lies. Researchers such as Greg Braden, who dedicated decades to bridging science and consciousness, have revealed something extraordinary. Coherence between the heart and the mind is our actual broadcasting channel into the quantum field. When your thoughts and your feelings are synchronized, when heart and mind walk in harmony, your signal is strong, clear, and undeniable. But when there's internal conflict, your mind declares one thing while your heart aches with the opposite emotion. The transmission becomes distorted, and the field cannot respond to a broken signal. Think of it as the vibrational Wi-Fi of existence. You can only log in to the networks that match your internal password. If your inner code is, "I don't have enough," it doesn't matter how many times you repeat, "I am abundant." The universe can only connect to your real password, not the fake one you type on the screen. It's like trying to join the Wi-Fi of abundance using the password of lack. It simply won't connect. Quantum physics itself teaches us something astonishing about the collapse of the wave function. On the subatomic level, particles exist in multiple possibilities at once until a conscious observer collapses that wave into one reality. And here's the key: you are that conscious observer of your own life. But it isn't your surface level mind doing the collapsing. It's the deeper observer within you, the vibrational state from which you truly operate. Those of us walking this path have discovered something powerful about this inner observer. And this is where the story really begins. Your inner observer is not just some abstract idea. It's the vibrational filter that decides which of the infinite possibilities in the quantum field crystallize, into your lived reality. Think of it as a lens through which the universe is forced to pass before it becomes your experience. If your inner observer is calibrated to scarcity, then all it can collapse into form are scenarios that echo scarcity. But if it is tuned to fullness, it naturally collapses pathways of abundance into existence. This means your real task is not convincing the universe to hand you something different, becoming the type of conscious observer who naturally collapses the reality you long to experience. The moment you adjust your inner frequency as an observer, the field responds instantly, because it was never responding to your petitions, has only ever been mirroring your vibration. This is why so many people following this path have begun to notice profound transformations. They're realizing that the breakthrough never comes from stacking more techniques, but from recalibrating the one behind every technique, the silent observer within. Here's where most of us stumble into the trap that is almost invisible. We practice every method perfectly, but we do it from the wrong energetic place. We visualize abundance, but from the panic of not having it. We repeat affirmations of self-love, but from the urgency of feeling broken. We practice gratitude, but from the fear that what we have isn't enough. When you picture your dream home, but your stomach knots with anxiety about how you'll ever afford it, you are sending two contradictory broadcasts. Your mind declares abundance, but your nervous system screams lack. And the quantum field doesn't respond to your thoughts, responds to your vibration. A mental image of wealth created from the energy of desperation still vibrates in desperation. Science has even revealed this paradox through studies on the placebo and nocebo effects. It's not the conscious belief that heals or destroys, it's the hidden, subconscious belief that operates at the cellular, emotional, and energetic levels. You may tell yourself you deserve abundance, but if your nervous system is wired for survival, if your very cells vibrate with the programming of there isn't enough, that is the signal the field receives. One of the most sabotaging frequencies in spirituality is urgency. That restless voice that says, I need to manifest this now. I need to heal now. I need my life to change immediately. But urgency vibrates in need, not in wholeness. And when you carry that urgency into your spiritual practices, What you're broadcasting is the frequency of someone who is out of time, who lacks patience, who doubts that life can unfold without constant pushing. Many of us unknowingly turn our spiritual practices into compulsions, disguised as discipline. We meditate not with presence, but with the anxiety of results. We chant mantras not with trust, but with desperation. We follow rituals not with joy, but with the heaviness of someone trying to repair what they secretly believe is broken. This is the most common form of vibrational self-sabotage, doing everything right from the energy of incompleteness. And the quantum field, being the perfect mirror that it is, faithfully responds by creating more circumstances that confirm incompleteness, more evidence that something is missing, more proof that something needs fixing. Take a deep breath here, because what I'm about to say needs to be heard, not with your mind, but with your heart. You are not broken. You have never been broken. What has happened is that you've been broadcasting from an older version of yourself, a version that learned to survive by clinging to scarcity. But that survival code is no longer needed. It is not your intention that is flawed. Your intentions are pure, radiant, deeply human. It is not your discipline that is wrong. Your commitment is admirable. The real issue is that you've been asking from a frequency that does not match what you want to receive. And none of this is your fault, because no one ever taught us that vibration carries more weight than action. There exists a path free of struggle. But it requires something most of us are terrified to do. Letting go of the need to control how and when our desires arrive. There's a way of manifesting that does not demand exhausting effort, but it does require trust in something larger than your urgency. For years, many of us have walked with the ache that maybe the universe isn't listening, that maybe our connection is faulty, that maybe we are not spiritual enough, pure enough, worthy enough. We carry the guilt of failed manifestations like a heavy stone on our chest. Yet the truth is, the quantum field has been responding all along. It has been faithfully reflecting the deepest frequency you've been emitting. And when you finally understand this, something inside your chest loosens. You realize you no longer need to force reality to bend. You no longer need to prove that you are deserving. Your only task is to remember who you are when you're not in survival mode, to return to your natural frequency of wholeness. If you feel even a small wave of relief from this message, take a moment to like this video, not only as a gesture of support here, but as a way of amplifying this understanding into the collective, so that other souls can also hear the truth that they are not broken, just temporarily out of tune. Together, we can create a frequency of collective healing. Now, I want you to ask yourself an honest question, with no judgment, only curiosity. Which version of you is asking the quantum field right now? And what frequency is that version truly emitting? You sit down for your morning practice, when you repeat your affirmations, when you visualize your ideal life, what emotion are you broadcasting? Is it the calm fullness of someone who already knows everything is unfolding, or the restless urgency of someone who feels incomplete until something changes? Think about it for a moment. In your daily life, are you moving through the world as someone who already has what they are seeking, or as someone still chasing after it? Because the quantum field is reading those signals all the time, not just during the 5 minutes set aside for meditation. Those of us who have begun to see beyond surface level techniques are starting to ask this fundamental question. And it is the kind of question that changes everything once it lands in your awareness. What if the quantum field has always been responding not to your spoken words, not to your carefully crafted affirmations, but to your deepest vibration? Sit with that question for a while. You don't need to answer it right now. So let it rest in your consciousness, because the response will rise naturally once you are ready to recalibrate your frequency from an entirely new state of being. Now, let's step into the practical part. Understanding this concept is beautiful, but embodying it requires tangible actions, subtle adjustments that ripple outward and reshape your life when practiced consistently. These are not complicated rituals. There are simple recalibrations of your inner state. The first step is breath. Before you begin any spiritual practice, before you make any request to the universe, before you visualize your desires, pause and take 3 conscious breaths with this intention. I breathe from fullness, not from lack. Inhale as someone who already has everything they could ever need. Exhale the urgency of needing something external to complete you. This small ritual rewires your nervous system and aligns your energetic field with the correct frequency before you transmit any intention. The second step is daily embodiment. Instead of just visualizing what you want to have, practice living as the version of yourself who already has it. How would that person walk into a room? What kind of decisions would they make with ease? What energy would they carry in their body posture, in their gaze, in the rhythm of their day? Integrate that version of yourself, not just in meditation, but in the ordinary moments while buying breakfast, while answering emails, while choosing your clothes in the morning. The field doesn't respond to the 5 minutes you pretend to be abundant. It responds to the constancy of who you are across the hours of your life. The third step, and perhaps the most overlooked, is keeping an honest emotional journal. Before making any request to the universe, pause and ask, am I asking from wholeness or am I asking from lack? If you notice a knot in your stomach, urgency in your chest, or anxiety in your breath, hold off on the request. Return to the breath, return to your center, return to remembering that you are already complete. Only then transmit your intention. This single shift changes everything because the field responds not to your words, but to the vibration behind them. And I've seen how powerfully this works in real lives. People write to me with stories of extraordinary transformations, not because they're doing more, but because they are vibrating differently. Laura shared that after 1 month of practicing this, opportunities began showing up in her life without effort, without her even searching. Carlos told me his relationship with money completely shifted, not when he begged for it, but when he began to appreciate it from a place of trust. These stories are not exceptions. They are proof that the field always mirrors the broadcast you send from within. For those who feel they need a more structured roadmap, I created a guided path, a complete journey designed to walk you step by step through stabilizing this new frequency in your everyday life. It's not just theory, it's a practical vibrational training, so sustaining your new frequency becomes second nature. Let's find the link in the description of this video. But let's be real for a moment. You will relapse. There'll be mornings when you wake up in survival mode, when urgency takes over, when your mind rushes back into the patterns of scarcity. And this does not mean you have failed. It means you are in the process of stabilizing a new frequency in a system that operated 4 years from another one. Falling back is not failure. It's a natural part of tuning your energetic field to a new reality. Think of it like learning an instrument. At first, the notes sound off-key, but with consistent practice, harmony becomes your natural state. The quantum field is infinitely patient. It does not judge you for one moment of fear. It responds to your dominant tendency, not to an isolated instant. If 80% of the time you sustain the frequency of fullness, but 20% of the time you fall into urgency, the field will mirror the 80%. It is the dominant pattern that counts, not perfection. Even those of us deeply committed to this journey experience doubts. It's moments where we wonder if it really works, if we're truly shifting anything at all, and that is normal. It is part of the process of uprooting old patterns and establishing new ones. True mastery is not about never slipping back, okay? It is about returning quickly to coherence when you notice you've gone out of tune. It is about self-compassion, not self-punishment. It is about remembering that awakening is not a single event, but a living process, a dance of falling out of alignment and coming back again and again until your natural frequency becomes stable, okay? And here's the beautiful part. You're not walking this path alone. This community, all of us moving through these teachings together, are learning the same lesson, resetting with gentleness, with patience, with kindness toward ourselves. Okay, I want to invite you into something powerful. As your first act of coherent vibration, as your first conscious broadcast into the quantum field from this new understanding, I want to invite you into something simple yet powerful. Okay, in the comments below, write a single word or word that represents the frequency you choose to sustain from this moment forward. Not a word describing what you want to have, but a word that reflects who you already are when you are not in survival mode. It could be wholeness, it could be trust, it could be flow, it could be gratitude. Let your heart choose the word that feels like your truest frequency. This is not a game of magic tricks. Tia, it is coherence. It is alignment. It is your energy system sending a clear, unambiguous signal to the quantum field. And here is the answer to the question we opened at the very beginning. The quantum field does not listen to your words, mirrors your frequency. It has always been this way. Every experience you've ever lived has been the perfect reflection of your deepest vibrational emission. Every comment you leave here becomes an energetic seed planted in our collective field. Together, we are creating a vibrational vortex of conscious transformation. Your word is not just for you, okay? It is part of the frequency we are co-creating as a community. From today onward, you are no longer just a spiritual seeker. You are a conscious, vibrational broadcaster. Someone who understands that their work is not to convince the universe, but to embody the frequency of what they wish to experience. Your practice is no longer the techniques you perform. Your practice is the frequency you hold, moment to moment. This path doesn't end with this video, it deepens. Cause every day that you choose to sustain coherence between who you are and what you emit, the quantum field responds with more precision, with more flow, with more beautiful synchronicities. If this vision resonates with your journey, if you feel you belong in a space where spirituality becomes practical and science embraces consciousness, subscribe to this channel. Here we will continue exploring how to live from this new frequency in every area of your life. The quantum field keeps responding at every moment, faithfully reflecting your most authentic vibration. And we will keep walking with you so that vibration grows more coherent with the life you were born to live. New content will keep deepening this vibrational alignment in your daily life. Because when you shift your frequency, you don't just change your personal reality, you help shift the reality of everyone resonating with you.